What's up guys, it's Eric from B-Side. Today we have here a 2016 and 2021 Lexus LX 570 and we're going to be doing a new video on how to install our CarPlay Android Auto Kit. We'll do a quick demonstration after we finish the installation. The mounting points for the two boxes have changed a little bit. There was a little bit of confusion. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the new mounting locations in addition to all the other process that takes to remove both radio and the screen and how to route all the cables. So let's not waste any time, let's get in the car and get started. All right guys, we're in the vehicle now, but before we get started, if you want to take the additional step too, you can also pop open the hood and disconnect the negative terminal on the car's battery so that if you make any mistakes that you are covered and you don't end up blowing any fuses or your radio or your screen. So if you want to be extra careful, make sure you do that. And after you disconnected the negative terminal on the car's battery, go ahead and come to your passenger side. We're going to be removing this panel here and this panel. So you can use a panel removal tool, pop this open. Let me show you how that works. Okay, and then go ahead and just pop this up. It's just clips that's holding it. And then just go ahead and leave it like this, or you can just remove the whole thing. And once you remove that, go ahead and place your hand here. Just pull it towards you and pull all this out. Okay, like so. Okay, go ahead and set this aside in a safe location. All right, and now we're going to this other side. Same thing, it's gonna come off the same way. Just remove it, pull it, just clips holding it. You're going to disconnect the start button. Basically press down on the release tab and pull on the connector, not on the cable. And let me set this aside, but let me keep the start button. All right, gonna go ahead and just keep this connected here. Next step, we're gonna remove this centerpiece here. To do that, we need to pop this panel here, and we're just gonna pop this cluster garnish just enough to release the clips on the left side. To do that, you are going to have to reconnect the battery on the negative terminal, and then just press on the start button. All right, so that the steering wheel moves out this way. And then you could either use a panel removal tool, or you can just place your hand back here just to pop the bottom portion if you don't want to remove the whole entire garnish cluster. Okay, just like that. Okay, and then we can remove this. All right, and there's one connector down back here. Just press this connector and just pull it out. Just always pull on the connector, on the connector, not the wires. Let me go ahead and set this aside. Now, before we turn off the car, because the steering wheel is going to go back in, let me just set this plastic piece so the clips won't break. All right. Okay, next step, let's remove this radio. To do that, there's two 10mm bolts, 1 and 2. We're going to remove those using a 10mm socket. You can use a wrench if you don't have a power tool. All right, and next we're gonna remove this plastic piece here. Just pull it towards you. Just pull it straight, like so. Okay, and we're gonna remove these two 10mm bolts. And let's go ahead and go behind the screen here. We're gonna pop this piece here, all right? Just use a panel removal tool and pop this up, like so. Just being held by clips. And disconnect this light sensor plug connector right here. Just make sure to not forget to reconnect it when you reinstall this part. All right, now we are going to pull this out right here. Okay. All right, so once this is out, go ahead and pull it towards you and then remove the one blue, one white, and then there's gonna be one more connector on the side of the screen right here. Not the side, but towards the passenger side, like so. All right, when you're handling this screen, be very careful that you don't touch the panels on the left and right side. If you want, you could add some masking tape here to ensure that you don't scratch these areas. All right, next step, we are going to remove this radio here. So what we're gonna do is place a thick towel here. Okay, and then just gonna pull this, give it a firm pull. And we're just gonna leave it right here for now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna connect our connectors and route all the cables. The first connector and the cables that we're going to route are these GVIF cables. It's blue on one end and green on the other end. And there's gonna be one label that's in, one labeled out. So both blue side will go to this area here behind the screen, like so. And this will connect to the screen. And these two cables here, we're going to route this. Down here, we're gonna go behind the radio and we're gonna go down to this kick panel area. Okay. And before we do that, let me also remove this panel here. So you're just gonna push on the release and then pull it out. I'll show you how it looks. So basically, you're gonna push down on this to release this clip and then you'll be able to pull it out like so. So let's go ahead and route these cables one at a time. My plan is to go right here and then go straight down. Okay. All right, here it is right here. This is probably gonna be the most difficult part. To routing it from here to down there is gonna be easier. Now, cable 2. Pull this back here. Right here, I'm gonna tape this area with some masking tape. Okay, there it is. This is my second cable. All right, and while it's here, let me just continue on the routing. All right, so we went ahead and we just routed our GVIF cables. So basically we went down here, we went behind the radio, but right when we get behind the radio, you'll find some brackets. You wanna try to keep the cable as straight as possible. So do as much as you can to keep the cable on the back side. Do not loop it towards the front. So you'll know what I'm talking about. You might have to give a few tries. So try to keep the distance from here to there as short as possible, so that when you're back here, you'll have enough cabling to be able to mount it to your desired location. Otherwise, you could drop the glove box to do it, but this overall will save you some time if you don't drop the glove box. So here it is. You should have this much cable. Once you route this, let's drop the under panel here. It's just being held by clips. You do have to push on the release tabs. You'll be able to feel it. Okay, like this. And let's disconnect this connector. There's another connector here that you could disconnect, like so. All right, and let's go ahead and put this aside. All right, just checking the cable length, and it looks like we have enough. So we'll leave this as is. And next, let's connect the other connectors behind the radio. All right, so we're gonna now connect the connectors behind the radio. Push down on this release tab here and then pull up. You don't have to use a panel removal tool. You can also use a flathead screwdriver and just bring it up like so. This will disconnect the connector. Also disconnect this one here. This one's for your auxiliary right here. We don't use our auxiliary anymore, but we still have this connector if you want to use it. If you decide you don't want to route your audio to the Bluetooth and instead you want to use the factory auxiliary, you can do so as well. Okay, so let's connect our auxiliary connector. Right, and then let's get our main connector. That's the largest one, the big bundle of wires and cables. Here it is. This CAN wire is already going to be pre-configured. It's going to be basically the brown RX cables going to the orange and the white connectors. The red RX is going to go right through for this LEXUS LX. It's all going to be pre-configured, but if you want to double check, you can do so. Okay, so let's grab the female side and we're going to connect to the male side that was originally connected to the car's radio, like so. And we are going to connect our male side to the radio. Okay, like so. All right, so we have all these cables and wires. We are going to route this one back below the glove box area. and we're going to route everything else up here. This is where we're going to mount our wireless module while we mount our dip switch box down there below the glove box. So let me go ahead and route this. All right, so here it is. And while we have the radio out, let me route one more cable, which is going to be our HDMI cable. So our HDMI cable, we're going to route it from down below to up here. Oh, that was easier. Bottom to top. Learn something new every day. Okay, now let's route the rest of these cables, basically the power cable, the microphone, and the auxiliary up to this area. And then let's not forget our antenna cable as well. So also our antenna cable, that we're gonna route it from below the glove box area to the top, following the same route we took for the HDMI cable. This, all right, there we go. Okay, so I'll let these hang out, and then let's route these other three cables: the power, the auxiliary, and the microphone. All right, cool, terrific. All our cables are routed. Let me push my radio back in. You will have to move around these connectors a bit to make sure it's sitting parallel to the back side. And then carefully push the radio back in. Okay. All right, so we got this radio back in. Let's connect these. So you have to be a little strategic when connecting this. Basically, what we are going to do is we are going to face the HDMI cable connection this way, because we have to connect here. It's kind of short. You could move this all the way here. And the other connection side is going to be the USB microphone and the antenna, which we will actually connect it while it's out here. So let me route those cables. So we got our antenna here, and let's also actually route all these other cables. They're long enough so that we can reach the other side of the box and push it back in without any problems. Just be careful not to scratch up your hands while you place your hand behind this panel. All right. Start off with this. Connect our microphone. Connect our audio. Audio cable should always connect to line out. And let's connect our power. And then our antenna. This antenna is for your wireless CarPlay connection. Okay, and then let's also route our USB. So for this USB charger, we are going to route it here next to where the antenna is, just because I don't think it'll be long enough to go all the way to the driver's side. So let me do that once again. Let me go and route the USB cable the same channel that we routed the other cables, the antenna cable. So I'm gonna go from the bottom and just go straight up. All right, and let me push this USB all the way through and connect it to my wireless module. All right, cool, terrific. And the last thing that we're left with is this HDMI cable. But before we do that, let me wrap this with some foam tape. And when you're wrapping it with foam tape, make sure to not cover the vents. Okay, there's vents right here. Don't cover it. You can put it all the way to the edge. Okay, and then next is let's organize these cables and wires a bit before pushing it back. And then when we push it back, we're going to join it with our HDMI cable. All right, so when you're putting this in, you do have to push down on this factory harness to make enough room. And then just go at this angle here. Just make sure you have enough slack for these cables when you turn this around. And you should be able to push it through all the way. Okay. And then once you hit this point on the other side, you'll be able to connect the HDMI cable. Okay, it's in there. All right. Whew. All right, so now that that's in there, let me reconnect the screen and let's test the system, and we just need to reverse order everything we just did. All right, so we're going back here before we tidy everything up. So let's connect this interface box here. So we have this main connector. It's going to connect here. The dip switch configuration is already going to be pre-configured for your car, so do not change it. If you want to double check, you'll see a label down here that tells you what it should be. Okay, and then if you go to these GVIF cables, they're going to be labeled in and out. The one that's labeled GVIF in is going to connect to the outside edge. And the one that's labeled GVIF out will connect to the inside edge, inside. And if you want to double check, you can also confirm with the wiring diagram that's included with the kit. All right, and then let's also connect these two cables here. We have the HDMI, and then this USB, we'll leave it over here. And then this wireless antenna, remove the adhesive, and we could just mount it here on the side. All right. Okay, so everything's not connected yet, but let me just double check to see if it's working. So the very first time you turn on your car, the screen will go black. Give it some time, and then you'll see the loading sign for your factory system to load. All right, there it is. Okay, we do still need to change the resolution on this, but when you purchase from us and you tell us your vehicle information, the resolution will also be pre-configured like this. We just changed it right now. You do have to reboot the car for you to see the change. All right, so it looks like everything is working. So let me just reverse order everything I did, and that will complete the installation. So I'll go ahead and do that now. All right, let me just go over how we mounted this. So we have some cables coming out on the left side of this bracket. So we rerouted it to the right side just to make it cleaner. We have some extra wires from the main harness. We pushed it in here, and then it's going to go from up here, and then it's going to connect to the interface from here. So we have the HDMI here, GVIF cables on the other side, and then the main connector on the other side as well. And we double side taped to this, okay? It's gonna be a tight fit, but with the clips on the under panel, it will be able to secure it in there without any issues. All right, so let me put this piece back here too. All right, we're gonna push this clip back in. You want it like this, and then you're gonna push it in here. Okay, and just push it. All right, there it is. Okay, and we have this USB. If you want to use this, you can. Just keep it right here. We're gonna put the panel here. We're gonna make this USB stick out somewhere here. Okay, so if you want to use it, you could reach over and charge your phone. All right, here it is. So if you don't want this USB here, you can also route it to the glove box from the back side. You can open it the way to the filter, the cabin filter. You can open that and then just route it through there. Or you could just keep it right here. If you don't like it, you could just tuck it in. Could have a little bit sticking out like so. It's not a big deal. All right, and then we also have this piece here. Like so. All right, this under panel. Connect this back. And there's another one here for your footwell. Okay, line up the guide in the back. Push it up, and then secure it with these clips. Okay, there it is. You may have to push it up a little bit, but they will all fit. All right, guys, so we just finished installing it. Let me show you how it works. So first of all, you want to make sure your phone is connected to the car's Bluetooth. Just go to menu, go to setup, go to Bluetooth, and then go ahead and add. And then on your phone, iPhone or Android, go to your Bluetooth, go down, under devices, just wait until you see LEXUS LX. All right, go ahead and pair. Okay, this is not our car, so we're not going to allow our favorites and contacts. Okay, so now it's connected, and once it's connected, you want to push and hold the map button on your little control panel here, and then which will bring up this 3 icon screen. This is the screen you get when nothing is connected. So we're going to do the first initial connection. So while we're on the Bluetooth menu, you might be very tempted to select this MV17W from the Bluetooth menu. Don't do it. Instead, it's a different menu that you need to go through. If you connect it here, the order of operation is not going to be correct, and it might not make a successful connection. So go back to settings, go to general, go to CarPlay, and then there it is, our MV17W dash some numbers and letters. Okay, and go ahead and pair, allow, and there's going to be another prompt that comes out, and you're going to say yes or allow. All right. All right, so here it is. Once you're here, you're going to be using this whole joystick here to control it. Once you touch your joystick, you'll see a little pink cursor. You could push down on the screen anywhere. You could drag like so. You could be in a map application, and you can also push down on the screen and look around. Okay, and you could press the back button. It works as a back button. And then one additional thing, once your phone connected to the car's Bluetooth, one thing I forgot to mention is you want to make sure your audio source is in Bluetooth. So select media. Okay, and right now it's on disk. You want to be in Bluetooth audio. This is how you hear Siri, you hear turn-by-turn directions, you hear all the sounds and music from your CarPlay. Menu button will summon Siri, you give any commands. And Siri is sounding very quiet. To adjust it, go back to your settings, sound and haptics, turn on change with buttons. Press the right button to summon Siri and raise it up. This is the Siri volume, okay? So right now what we basically did, we maxed out the Siri volume because our music volume is also maxed out too. So it should come out about the same volume level. And then you can also utilize this, track up, track down. You can also utilize the steering wheel control, track up and down. The volume controls work, you just don't see the number change. Okay, this also works as well. And also you could use these two as track up and down. And you can also select these two buttons to make your selections as well. Okay, if you'd rather do it that way. Another feature that's special is you can pick up and hang up phone calls as well. Phone call will come directly to the screen, and all your 360 cameras will show. So when I press reverse, the 360 camera shows, you put it back to drive, and then whatever features automatic comes out, and then once you're done with that, it will go back to the CarPlay screen. And even this button here for the 360 view, you could push this, goes 360 view, press it again, so the sides, press it again, and it goes back to the CarPlay screen. And if you ever want to go back to your factory native screen, push and hold the map button, it'll take you back. All right. And this is all working all wirelessly. Once you turn on the car, once you pair and pair your phone to the device, everything will be automatic going forward. So when you turn on the car, phone will connect to the CarPlay device automatically. And if you want to do wire CarPlay, you can also do so here. Just plug any cable here to your phone. It'll launch wire CarPlay Android Auto. If you have an Android device, make sure you use a high-speed data cable and make sure the cable is not longer than 3 feet. If you want to use the factory USB here for the connection, you certainly can. This is for iPhone user. Your source will change to iPod on the car screen, but the audio quality will be better. So you can also use that while your phone is connected to CarPlay wirelessly. So that's a pretty cool feature because a lot of people like connecting their phone directly to the car's USB. And on top of that, right now I just showed you CarPlay. This Android Auto also works as well, an Android Auto screen. All right guys, well that concludes our installation, our quick demonstration of our S Connect wireless CarPlay Android Auto retrofit for this 2016 all the way 2021 Lexus LX 570. If you have any questions, leave a comment below, or if you're ready to purchase this kit, it's available at BeatSonicUSA.com. It's all in stock and we're ready to ship it to your doorstep. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys on the next video, and if you haven't yet, help us by subscribing and liking our video. See you guys next time.